Hey, this will be a video chart on MMTC. Before I get started, real quick, I'd encourage you to check out bullwarriorstocks.com. If you go there and subscribe to the free newsletter, you'll be sent a free ebook, and with your newsletter subscription, you'll get chart setups, trade ideas, educational pieces, all sorts of things from big boards down to penny stocks. So there's a good variety, something for everybody, and best of all, it is all free, no strings attached. We've been making some good money on our alerts, so I'd encourage you to go to the website, check it out, and sign up. So MMTC, chart that's starting to regain some popularity, and with the way it's starting to bottom out here, makes sense. But what actually caught my eye on it today was the bullish pattern. But even on that, I can't take credit for noticing it. I had a question from somebody ask me, is this a falling wedge? And I would have to say yes. And before you freak out, if you're not familiar with charts, a falling wedge is actually bullish, whereas a rising wedge, would be considered bearish. So I've already drawn it. You can see this green line here represents the support portion of the pattern, and then this red line here represents the resistance. And if you were to pull this up in a textbook, this probably wouldn't be the best example for that, but the fact of the matter is the whole flow of things is still, within the context of a falling wedge. So now, does this mean that it's about to skyrocket and fly to the moon? Obviously there's no guarantees like that, but it is a nice little pattern to see. It's one of my favorite patterns. If you were to ask me, what patterns do you enjoy the most, falling wedge would definitely be up towards the top. So what do we want to see continue to happen? Well, the first positive thing that's been happening has to do with all these little circles here. And all these are showing is that every day, essentially for the past couple weeks, the bulls have been able to put in higher lows. And higher lows just means that from, think of level 2s, everybody has to continue to up their bids if they want to get shares. So, and that's the whole name of the game. Make people have to up their bids in order to buy. So, and that's what this is showing. People have had to up their bids, and the level 2s, have gotten more and more attractive as time's gone on. Now, the price has hit this resistance line today, but the good news is it's still relatively close to it. So, the next thing we need to see is some sort of increase in volume. If we could get a day like that, or something like one of these, that would really help out. So if you can get a nice size volume day and a breakout, but more importantly a close above, that's going to be the key thing with this, any sort of legitimate chart, breakout. It can break intraday, but if it closes below it, then from the daily perspective, it's not considered a breakout. But if you can start to get some closes above it on nice volume, then this is really going to start to pop up in more and more people's radars. In terms of other resistances after the initial breakout, we do have the 200-day and 50-day simple moving averages sitting above us. But with a pattern breakout with the right amount of volume, that natural momentum can really kick in, and I don't really see these ones being too much of a problem. But they will still be resistances nonetheless. So all the more reason why we need to see more volume on the breakout. And then scrunching this up, you can see that really the potential after the 50-day simple moving average up here really begins to thin out, because the price did make this monstrous move. So it's been in this sort of higher area before up in Pennyland. So with like I said, with the right amount of volume, something like over here, there's no reason why it couldn't start to move back up here, off the chart pattern breakout. But one step at a time. First, we just got to get some breaks above this trend line, but more importantly, some closes above it. So if there are any other questions on the chart, please let me know. But once again, please check out my website, sign up. I think you'll enjoy it, and be glad that you did. If there are any other questions on the chart, please let me know. If not, once more, this was MMTC. Thanks for listening.